Your reflection twitches before you do. Eyes dark, skin pale, pulse too slow to be human.
Outside, sirens wail and the world burns. But what if this isn't infection?
Outside, sirens wail and the world burns. But what if this isn't infection? What if it's evolution, and you are the first step? The next stage of humanity might already be growing inside you. Subscribe now, because what's coming isn't extinction, it's transformation. Blood steams on your hands. You don't remember whose it is. The air is thick with the stench of rot and smoke, and something inside you whispers a truth that freezes your spine. What if this isn't the end of humanity, but the beginning of something new, something evolved, something better? Subscribe now before we go deeper, because what comes next will change the way you see life itself. It starts quietly, a fever, a cough, then hunger, not the kind that fades with food, but a hunger that burns through the soul. Governments call it a virus. Scientists name it a neurological anomaly. But what if it is neither? What if it is nature's next step? A transformation written in our DNA long before the first human drew breath. You watch the reports. Cities burning, streets silent except for the shuffle of feet that no longer belong to the living. And you ask yourself, if this is evolution, why does it look like death? The first wave takes millions. Panic spreads faster than the infection. People hide behind steel doors, whispering prayers to old gods. But inside the chaos, patterns emerge. Some of the infected begin to act differently. Their eyes focus, their movements sharpen. They start avoiding fire. They begin to communicate, not with words, but with rhythm and pulse. You feel it too, deep inside, a pulse that isn't yours. What if they aren't decaying? What if they're adapting? Imagine standing in the ruins of your city. Glass crunches under your boots. Smoke coils into a sky painted red by burning towers. You hear the moans in the distance, but they sound organized now, not chaos. Something like unity, like a heartbeat. The phrase echoes in your mind. The next stage, the next stage. What if evolution has always been violent, brutal, unstoppable, and this is just our turn? You hide in an abandoned mall. The smell of plastic and old blood fills the air. Through a cracked skylight, you see them moving below. Hundreds of them. Their skin pale, their movements synchronized like dancers. One of them stops and looks up. Its eyes lock with yours. Not dead, not empty. A spark of awareness flickers there. It doesn't attack, it waits. Watching, understanding. You feel your chest tighten. What if it sees you as something less? Scientists, what's left of them, find something strange in the infected. Neural networks that grow thicker, faster, more efficient. Brain tissue regenerating in ways impossible for normal humans. Pain receptors rewired. Fear responses gone. They call it neuroevolution syndrome. But you see the pattern. Fearless, connected, strong. What if we have been the prototype all along? The survivors fight back. Bullets, fire, chemicals. Entire zones burn to ash. Yet they keep coming. Not mindless now, but strategic. They hunt with purpose. They learn. You watch one of them set a trap. You see another use of tools. And then it hits you. They are doing what we did thousands of years ago when we rose above beasts. What if this is history repeating, and we are the animals now? You find an old radio. Static. Then a voice. Calm, human, confident. They are evolving. Stop fighting and listen. You freeze. The voice speaks of coexistence, of a new world where decay is rebirth. The transmission ends, but the seed is planted. What if survival means surrender? Nights grow colder. Food disappears. You move through empty streets, the smell of smoke and metal heavy in your lungs. You see shapes in the dark, moving with grace, no longer stumbling. You realize they are watching you, studying you, deciding whether you belong. Your heartbeat echoes loud in your ears. You remember the phrase again, the next stage. You whisper it this time, and it doesn't sound like fear anymore. A child's laughter breaks the silence. You follow the sound. In a broken playground, you find them. A small infected girl, her skin gray, her eyes glowing faintly. She's building something from scraps, a circle of stones and wires. You step closer. She looks up, smiles, and whispers, "Listen." The stones hum, a low frequency, rhythmic and pulsing. Your bones vibrate. It feels like communication, evolution speaking through sound. What if the monsters are building a language we cannot yet understand? Days blur. You stop feeling hunger the same way. Your senses sharpen. You smell rain before it falls. You hear whispers miles away. You dream of patterns, of light crawling through your veins like silver threads. You wake up with a taste of iron in your mouth and realize the transformation has begun. Not infection, transition. You are becoming what you feared. You remember the old world. Phones, markets, laughter. It feels distant now, like a dream fading in sunlight. The new world hums with energy. The infected move in silence, rebuilding with precision. Cities once drowned in blood now pulse with bioluminescent light. Nature grows wild and strange, reclaiming metal and glass. The air feels cleaner. The noise of human ambition has gone quiet. What if this is peace, born from the collapse of everything you knew? You meet others like you, half human, half changed. You see through their eyes, memories blending, thoughts merging into one stream. There is no loneliness here, no fear. You realize this connection is what humanity always craved but never achieved. A single, collective mind that understands pain, hunger, and purpose. What if the apocalypse was never about ending life, but about ending isolation? Then comes the choice. The old world flickers on one last screen. A few survivors hiding in bunkers, clinging to the past. They beg for help. You feel the pull, the nostalgia, the ache of who you were. But beside you, the evolved ones reach out, inviting you into something beyond flesh. You ask yourself, if evolution is inevitable, do you fight it or embrace it? A storm rises. Lightning cracks across the skyline. Rain falls heavy, washing blood from the streets. The sound feels cleansing. You stand at the edge of what was once civilization, now reborn in eerie beauty. The infected move through the rain, eyes glowing softly like lanterns. You close your eyes and listen. The heartbeat again. The next stage. The next stage. The next stage. When you open your eyes, the fear is gone. You step forward. The air tastes electric. Your vision sharpens until every drop of rain hangs frozen in light. You feel everything, every breath, every life, every echo. You are no longer separate from the world. You are the world. The camera would fade here if this were a story, but this is not fiction anymore. Evolution doesn't ask for permission. It simply arrives. The question is never if it comes, but who survives to see what follows. So ask yourself now, if the next stage of humanity required losing what made you human, would you accept it? Would you trade your heartbeat for a collective one? Would you call it the end or the beginning? Because somewhere, In the silence between what we were and what we are becoming, the line fades. And when it does, the last breath of humanity will not be a scream, but a whisper. Subscribe now, because the next stage has already begun.